Hello folks, this is Sula once again. Welcome to another video for Teamfight Tactics. This is going to be taken from a normal game. This is one of the first games that I've played in the most recent patch that was released. This is officially 9.24. Number of significant changes in this patch. Some of the biggest ones involve nerfing the strategy that involved re-rolling for lots of early game units. Renekton, the woodland units, they got nerfed pretty significantly. Also some buffs to different traits, some buffs to things like electric, some buffs to some of the rangers, which have caused some rangers to come back into the meta a little bit, and the addition of some new units, Lucian, Senna, and Amumu, all in this patch. In this particular game, we're going to be looking at an electric composition, so we're ultimately going to see Electric 4 in this game, and I'll talk about why electric is good. But for the first part, we always have an elemental hex here at every game of Teamfight Tactics and Rise of the Elements. It turns out that this is a mountain game, so the mountain is kind of the most unusual, I think, of the four various hexes that you can get. All of the other ones lean towards some kind of team composition. If you have an Inferno game, it leans towards auto attackers. People are going to be using their physical attacks to deal damage. If you have an Ocean map, it leans towards spellcasting, or at least using abilities. If you have a Cloud one, it leans towards abilities that are based on dodge, because there are a number of different things that give you extra dodge chance. And the Mountain Hex doesn't really lean towards any one thing in particular. If it does lean towards something, it leans towards having a units that stick in your composition for a very long period of time. The Mountain Hex is plus 30 health every single round that a unit stands on one of those mountain tiles. So it tends to favor like getting a one unit and just sticking with that unit, maybe making a 3-star unit, and just keeping them in your composition for a very long period of time. So anyway, I have picked up, what did I get? I didn't get an item from the initial minion round. Instead, I got a Nocturne, which is not ideal. I would kind of prefer to get an item there because it's easy to get champions, but it's hard to get items. So it always feels kind of bad when you get champions instead of items, or gold instead of items. So in any case, we got the Nocturne, and as a result, I'm going to try to build around this. I picked up a Skarner on the initial carousel. I was trying to get the Spatula, but like 3 other people were going for the Spatula, and I ended up getting a Skarner with a Chain Vest. So I've got the Chain Vest still sitting there. Let's see, we're going to get, now we get 2 more champions here. So again, this is a little bit unfortunate. I've gotten a bunch of champions, but I have not gotten much in the way of items thus far. I literally just had the Chain Vest, and that's a little bit unfortunate. So I'm trying to make a composition here. As typical for early in the game, I'm trying to stock up my bench with a whole bunch of different champs. I will try to see what I can get 2-starred, and based on whether I can get anything 2-starred, we'll try to figure out some kind of a composition from here. I have picked up, let's see, I picked up 2 Talias, I picked up 2 Cogmals. I also have a Rek'Sai, so I'm only 1 away from being able to run Predator here. I actually have made Steel on the 3rd minion round, which is really bizarre because you should not, normally it's not even possible to make Steel this early because you can't get a 3-cost unit like Nocturne. But I've made that, so I figured, hey, I might as well go with it for the time being. I'm looking at some of the different options. At least I do finally get 2 items from that last minion round there. But the big thing I find so far is a 2-star Ornn. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to try to build the early game composition around this 2-star Ornn. So what I really, really want to find is I want to find a Volibear, because that will allow me to make Electric 2. And Electric 2 was significantly buffed. So I'll talk more about that if I'm able to find a Volibear, which shouldn't be too hard to do. For the moment, I'm going to run that 2-star Ornn, and I'm going to look to drop the Talias, because this does not seem like it's going to be a mage-based composition. Arguably premature, because on a mountain map, you can run the mountain trait, the mountain element, if you get Talia plus the champ whose names I can never remember, the one whose element changes on every map. So you can make mountain much more easier on these maps. But in any case, I go ahead and sell that, and I actually lose the first round pretty badly. Unfortunately, I was up against a Berserker 3. There's a 3 Berserkers, and I was not able to focus fire on any one in particular. Renekton was getting low on health, and then the Renekton 2-star got off his ult, and he just healed back all the health. So even though Renekton was nerfed in this patch, he kind of had an ideal setup there, and I do lose the first round. And here, though, I'm going to get a pretty nice hit. I managed to find a Cogmal, so I'm like, all right, I've got 2-star Ornn, I've got 2-star Cogmal. I actually have 4 Ornns right now, so I'm going to stack the Ornns. I will go ahead and level. One thing that I did get, because I picked up all those champions, I didn't get a ton of items, but I did get more gold than you would normally get, so I'm going to look to level to 4. eat into my income a little bit. This does mean it's going to be harder to get up to 10 gold and start stacking that passive income. But I'm going to level, and right now I'm checking to see what other people are running. I'm like, is anyone running a Predator comp right now? Because it looks like this is going into a Predator comp again. Although it'll be a little bit different than the Predator comp I ran in the last game that I put on YouTube. The last game I put on YouTube, I ended up having a 1-star Cogmal. So Cog was not the focus of that Predator's setup. Once again, we get a really nice Renekton ult from the 2-star Renekton, but the steal kicks in, and so Rek'Sai is able to tank for a little while longer, gets those, I think it's 2 seconds of invulnerability from the steal trait, and so we're able to make it through that round. I'm pretty confident I would not have won that round without leveling to 4, so I think it was worthwhile to do that. There's actually a little bit of what I think is kind of a market efficiency in this game. So many people just try to econ as hard as they can by not investing gold in leveling early. That's kind of like the preferred trait right now, is just to econ as fast as possible to 50 gold and not try to level early. Before that, if you're able to put in a strong unit by leveling, you can often make back the gold that you would spend on leveling by winning rounds that you would otherwise have lost. Like, I would have lost that round, I'm pretty confident, if I had not leveled. So even though it cost 4 gold to level, I made 1 gold back by winning that round instead of losing it. And of course, I avoided losing health. This round, though, I'm pretty confident I'm going to lose this one, because Huawei is running Woodland Druid. He's got a 2-star Renekton. He's also got a 2-star Ivern, and of course he gets the bonus extra unit because he's running Woodland. He's running the Woodland trait this early in the game. So this is not looking so good. I was hoping that Cog could kill the Renekton, but nope. Renekton gets his ult off. Also, some bad focus firing from my units. They did not focus any one unit in particular. Not that I can really control that this early in the game, and with that Druid trait gives most of those units extra health regen. So I end up losing that round, and this has not been a great start to the game because I lost 2 of the first 3 rounds, and didn't just lose them, I actually lost them rather badly. The only advantage is I do get to pick rather early on the carousel, so I look here and I was like, oh cool, Volibear. That's a unit I'm looking for my comp, so make Electric 2. Afterwards, honestly, probably should have grabbed the Renekton with the Giant's Belt. That would have made Renekton 2. I could have dropped the Needlessly Large Rod on him and made Morellonomicon, which is a great early game unit, or early game item that transitions onto other units later. So that probably would have been the ideal play here, but I was looking to get Electric into play, and I went for the Volibear, so that ended up being the pick, and I don't think that's a terrible pick. Also, I sold a unit so I would get up to 10 gold there. I think I sold a Braum. Excuse me, which is funny because then I think I'm going to immediately repurchase Braum here, because Braum would allow me to make both Glacial and Warden, so he would be a pretty good addition to this team composition. I can't remember if I buy him here or if I get him later on. This is, of course, pre-recorded footage because there are no replays in Teamfight Tactics. There's no camera to move or anything. So I am now going to invest in some of my items since it looks like we're going for a Predator setup. I'm going to go ahead and put the Luden's Echo on Cogmal, which works really well for Predator, and there is the Braum. And then I'm going to sell the Renektons, because it doesn't look like I'm going to make an early Renekton 2-star, and Renekton's not going to fit this comp anyway. So let's talk about Electric 2. You're actually seeing the little electric flashes of lightning go off again and again here. Electric was buffed pretty significantly in this patch. Electric 2, so the way that Electric works is, I've got the description here, Electric champions shock nearby enemies whenever they deal or receive a critical strike. So you can deal electric damage by critting the enemy or by just getting crit by the enemy. So it's kind of a soft counter to assassins who like to, have a lot of crits. You can kind of stack armor on some of the champions that are electric, and then, like I said, it's kind of a soft counter. But anyway, Electric 2 was 70 damage. In the previous patch, they buffed it to 100 damage, and that might not sound like a big difference, but it really is. It was like a 50% increase, essentially, going from 70 up to 100. So Electric 2 is probably a little bit overpowered right now in the game. The interesting thing about Electric is you can make it early on with Volibear and Ornn, and then there's no other unit to make Electric 3 until you get up to Zed, who's a 5-cost unit. So it's very hard to make Electric 3 or Electric 4, which requires an Electric Lux. There's no other way to make Electric 4 other than getting an Electric Lux. So Electric 2, very good in the early and mid game. It kind of falls off in the late game until you can make Electric 3 with Zed. And Electric 4 is just fantastic. Electric 2, 100 damage from receiving a crit or dealing a crit. Electric 3, 300 damage. Electric 4, 500 damage. The 500 damage is just nuts. Just does so much damage. So I'm going to be looking to build around electric in this game. I've kind of tried to stabilize here on steel electric. I really want to get another predator unit, but I have not found a Warwick or literally have not found a Warwick or found a Skarner in order to make predator. So I still don't have predator in here, which is kind of hilarious because I've got the Cogmal and I found an early Rek'Sai. Still looking for Rek'Sai 2. And I'm holding on to Braum as well, so like what I need right now is I need to get some kind of Predator unit in here. Warwick would be preferred because Warwick would also give me a little Glacial. Warwick is Predator plus Glacial. Or alternately, if I find Skarner, he can also make Predator, but he would give me Crystal, and that's not going to be helpful until at least the late game. But I also really want to get Braum in here as well, because Braum will make Glacial when paired with Volibear, and he'll make Warden when paired with Ornn. And that's pretty nice for Ornn, especially, because Ornn is going to allow me to sit here and just stock up extra tank ability. I don't know if that's a word, but you guys know what I mean. Extra tankiness. So I get a Chain Vest here, and I get another Nocturne. So that gets me closer to Nocturne 2. And by the way, I'm up to 7 Ornns already, and there we go. There's finally the Skarner. Also, note the locations of the mountain hex. It's really odd here. 2 mountain hexes dead in the center of the map. So this suggests that I should put some kind of tanky champions. And so for the moment, my tanky champions are Ornn and Volibear. I also have the double Chain Vest, and I want to use them on something. I actually wanted to make the Thornmail and then put it... I think I wanted to put it on Volibear, but I actually can't put it on Volibear because he already has that recurve bow. If I try to put a Chain Vest on Volibear, it's going to make Phantom Dancer, which got nerfed really badly in this patch and is not really that useful of an item anymore. So I end up putting it on Ornn instead, and it's honestly probably better on Ornn. Unfortunately here we were not able to kill that Cogmal. That Cogmal got low, but we weren't quite able to finish him off. And so Fusleep's going to win this round. And Fusleep is also going for a Predator's comp, so he's stacking a whole bunch of Cogmals. If you notice, he's actually got, I think, 8 Cogmals, so he only needs 1 more. And part of the reason why I'm not finding Warwick is he's stocked his bench full of Warwicks as well. So that's where I am at the moment. I did lose that round, although it was reasonably close. I'm kind of in the middle of the pack as far as health goes here. And one of the nice things about this setup is I've got a clear idea of where I want my comp to go. I'm trying to get, I'm looking at the other comps, there's 1 Predator, I'm seeing some Light, some Wardens, I'm seeing some other people running Glacial. Kind of a nice mix here. I'm not seeing a lot of people running Mage hit setups, which is a little interesting. Those Mages don't look like they'd be contested, but I don't really see many people going for them. By the way, here's Lucian. I don't know if he's been in some of the other rounds, but running Lucian, but not running Senna. So a little bit surprising there. Usually, ideally, you'd want to pair them together to take advantage of that Soulbound trait. Anyway, so we are going to win that round. Ornn is still standing, and then Predator kicks in to get the last hit. Again, Dan is good. One note that I should say about this lobby, so this is a normal game, this is not a ranked game. However, apparently my normal matchmaking rating is pretty high because almost everyone who is in this game, they might not be there right now, but in Season 1 of Teamfight Tactics, they were either Platinum or Diamond. You can see what people were in the previous season by clicking on their banners, so almost everyone in this game was either Diamond or Platinum. The one exception is Dan is Good, who I think was Silver in Season 1. And if we're going to see Dan is Good is not going to have a great match here, because this is a bit of a higher skill lobby. So I did sink some money into leveling early. I also have a lot of units on my bench, and what that means is I need to manage my economy. I need to avoid leveling too quickly here because I need to stack up more passive gold income. I can't afford to fall too far behind. There's a soul bond on one of the other players. So even though I would love to level here, I am holding off. I want to get up closer to 50 gold. I need to try to win some of these rounds. I think my comp is strong enough to win a lot of these rounds. You also saw me make Nocturne 2, so I actually chose to drop the Predator in favor of putting Nocturne 2 in. My thought was it was better to drop Predator, pick up Steel, and get the Nocturne 2 star in. And that's going to make this a pretty close round, but fortunately I do win. That's a good sign. I'm able to beat Patent Geo, even though Patent Geo is already level 6 and I'm only level 5. He is ahead of me economically as a result. Again, I did spend some economy by looking to level a little bit early, and I also have a very full bench of units here, which is, of course, eating into my economy by having all those units sit on the bench. That said, I do feel like if you have a unit that you're going to want to put in later and you have a chance to pick them up, it's still better to pick them up and have them sit on the bench, even though it does cut into your econ, because you never know if you're going to be able to find that unit later on. So right now, the only item I have on my bench is I've got a Giant's Belt. And by the way, I'm actually in top 2 now in health, which is kind of shocking. So I see the Braum there. I'm like, okay, if I grab Braum here, this is going to make Braum 2-star, and I can also use the tier because I can combine that Giant's Belt that's on the bench with the tier to make Redemption, which, as you guys know, if you follow these videos, I always love making Redemption. It's also a good fit for this comp, which is mostly running a lot of tanky champions. It's going to be something that's going to be useful later on because it will give health back to these champs. So now I am going to level up to 6 because I really do want to get some of these units in. So I'm going to drop the Steel. I wanted to get Predator in here. I was like, wait a minute. Why would I put Skarner in here over Rek'Sai? I can make Steel if I do this. So once again, not running Predator here, but we are running Steel, Glacial, Electric, and Warden. So this is a tanky team composition right here. And it relies on making use of the Electric procs to deal damage, along with Kog'Maw, of course, in the back. But without Predator, the damage capacity of this comp is a little bit lower, and we really are relying on those Electric procs to deal 100 damage in those AoE bursts. So unfortunately, we're going to see Volibear get taken down, and then Ornn almost gets off an ult, does not manage to get an ult off, so that's not so great. We are getting some Glacial procs here, though. Oh, I need that Redemption to go off, but no, Redemption fizzles. That's not ideal. Also, Kog'Maw, I think I might have been able to win that, but Kog'Maw's ult landed on Vayne instead of landing on the Renekton. And then Renekton gets his ult off, and that's that. So we ended up losing that round, which was not ideal. And now I really want to get to level 7 so that I can get Predator back in play. It's like over and over again, I'll make Predator, and then I'll be like, ooh, but I can make something else if I drop Predator here. And then I keep losing the Predator again. That said, we've got a minion round coming up. I really do want to get to 50 gold. I do not want to spend gold right here. Want to get to level 7 following Wolves, which is the standard when you're playing Teamfight Tactics. So that's the idea. As far as what I'm holding on my bench, well, I've got those extra Ornns, looking to make Ornn 3-star, which would be great if I can do it at some point in the late game. I also have Mundo because I will go into Poison eventually. By the way, there's a nice Zephyr on the enemy team. Going to Zephyr out my Ornn and allow them to cut through that unit. But maybe I'll actually get off a decent Redemption here. As it turns out, Braum, not the worst target for Redemption, but he's having a little trouble getting it off. There we go, but oh, it's a little bit too late. Yeah, not ideal here. I have the Thornmail and Ornn, but he is only a 1-cost unit, so he is getting frozen over and over again. Ah, close, but no cigar. So these last couple rounds I've lost. This has not been a great second rotation through the through the order here. You can see I've won 2 rounds and lost 3, so that was not great. And I suspect it's at least in part due to the fact that Electric was starting to fall off in terms of strength. By the way, there is a Warwick, so I think I will want to pick that up here. Can't remember if I end up grabbing it or not, but I think I pick up the Warwick. The big issue is I just couldn't really find a lot of Warwicks in this game for whatever reason. So we're going to look to level to 7 after this Wolf round. So I will pick up some extra gold here. I'm also over 50 gold, so I'll get that passive gold income. And we'll try to go from there. Note that Huawei is still on 100 health. Huawei has won every single round, so that means Huawei is 10-0. And that could be a tough customer to deal with because he's going to have a ton of extra gold from win streaking for so long. I am roughly in the middle on health. I'm in reasonably good shape. I'm going to be looking to go into Poison long term. And the good news is I get some really good items for Kog'Maw right here because I can make Runaan's Hurricane and I can make Giant Slayer, and both of them are really good on Cog. Also, I get a nice hit there. I'm able to get the 2-star on the Rek'Sai, and now I can put in Skarner, and that's going to make the Predator once again. I make a mistake here, though. I should put in Warwick because Warwick would make another Glacial unit. And granted, he's not going to make Glacial 4, but he would at least be able to freeze on his auto attacks, and that would be nice. So having made that and having gotten some pretty darn good items on Kog'Maw, I actually think I'm strong enough here right now. So I'm going to see if I'm strong enough to win a couple rounds here. And I'm up against Fu Sleep. Now, Fu Sleep is the other person running a Predator's comp. He is someone I want to knock out very badly. For some reason, he has his Kog'Maw on the front lines, which is a really bad decision. I understand that he's trying to take advantage of the Mountain Hex, but you don't want to put your Kog'Maw right there. As you see, the Cog just dies instantly, and so that did not work. Poor Fu Sleep. He's also got a gazillion items sitting on his bench. He really needs to make use of them. Yes, ideally you want to get better, you want to make items that fit, but you don't want that many items sitting on your bench. I do find another Ornn there, so now I'm up to 8 Ornns. I just need 1 more for Ornn 3-star. And note that Fu Sleep makes the Cog 3-star immediately after I hit him, so that was a little bit of good luck. So he makes the Cog 3-star. That's going to make his comp much, much, much stronger. And I'm not going to have to see him for a while because I'm going to rotate through the other players before he comes back again. So that's kind of good news. Other stuff I'm doing, I mentioned that I'm stacking poison right now. So what I want to do right now is I want to econ to 8 as fast as possible so that at level 8, I can go ahead and put poison in. I can put in Mundo and put in Twitch, and that'll make poison. In any case, though, we seem to be up against some kind of Inferno plus, I think it's Inferno Summoner comp right there, but wow, we just destroyed that composition. And that was not close, and poor Hipster's going to take like 20 damage as a result of this. So, yeah, he's going to... It's one of the nice things about when your comp is strong is not only do you win the rounds more easily, you're dealing a lot of damage to the other players, and that's always a good sign, because this is ultimately a zero-sum game. Only one person can win at the end, and the more damage you do to them, the sooner they get knocked out. Pat and Gio's already hit level 8, by the way, so he's just fast level 8. He's been econing as fast as possible to level 8. Now, the thing is, though, look at his... this is kind of getting afar from this field into more like meta theory, but like look how low his health is. He's only on 30 health. So even though he's gotten to 8 fast and he's going to be able to make a good endgame comp, I'm not sure that if it's the right decision to do that, just because he's lost so much health in the process. Anyway, so he's got the extra unit. He's running a Lucian and Senna comp. So he has made a strong comp. Look, he's got a 2-star Senna, got only a 1-star Lucian. Unfortunately, that Redemption is going to not hit anything again. And so he's actually going to beat me pretty badly here. So he does get the fast level 8. He is going to be pretty strong, but again, he's lost a ton of health. So that is going to be an issue as the game goes on because he econed as fast as possible to level 8 while taking a lot of damage in the process. Like I said, advantages and disadvantages. Advantages, you get the first chance to get access to those those 5 quest units, but it's never good to take that much damage. Anyway, so we're back to a carousel again. I should narrate what's going on here. So it's my turn to pick. I'm looking at the different options. I was like, all right, well, let's just go ahead and grab the Twitch because the Giant's Belt is nice. With the Giant's Belt, I can potentially make something good. I don't have anything particular in mind, but it also gets me closer to 2-star Twitch. And I didn't see any other item there that was super compelling because I didn't have any other components on my bench at the moment. Obviously, I'm going towards Poison here, as I've already mentioned. I want to get up to level 8. I just need to go a couple more rounds. I'll look to go 8, presumably after I do the Raptors round. Excuse me, right there. So Poison, of course, really good endgame trait. It anyone who gets poisoned has their mana cost increased by 50%. So really good against spellcasting comps. Maybe not quite as good against some of the comps that we're seeing run here, because I think there's only one person who's running kind of a mage comp right now, and we'll go from there. The most dangerous comps right now seem to be Aesop Wanderer, who is on a lengthy win streak, and then Pat and Gio, who's got that Lucian Senna Soul Bond set up. This is going to be up against, I think this is Aesop Wanderer, who is running like I can't see because the name is cut off. He's running like a Glacial Berserker type setup here. So I'm like, all right, I'm not going to win this round, but hopefully I can kill some more of these champs. It actually does get reasonably close. If that Sand Soldier hadn't finished off Cog down there, I think I actually win this because Braum is tanking like forever here, as you can see. Actually got a good redemption off for a change. So I do lose that round, but fortunately Cog was able to kill enough units that it wasn't like a really one-sided round. And here we're going to find a Mundo, so that's great. Now I'll have a Mundo 2-star to put in. He's going to go in at level 8. At level 8, Braum comes out. Braum is not crucial to this team composition. I will lose Glacial and Warden for that, which is not ideal, but I'll pick up Poison, and that's worthwhile in the trade. And then I'll also have a Redemption to move to another unit. The ideal person to put the Redemption on is Zed. I really want to hold that item and try to put it on him. Zed will make an Electric 3 unit, and Zed also is really good with Redemption because as his clones keep splitting, he can apply that Redemption again and again. We're back to Dan is good here. Remember how I mentioned that Dan is good was the one player in the lobby who was only like silver in the previous season, and so if I can win this round by a good margin, I might be able to knock him out of the game. He's only on 12 health. So I don't think I do quite enough damage to eliminate him, but I do end up winning that round. And we've actually got 3 people that are very low here. Captain Jabroni at 9, Hipster at 5, Dan is good at 2. So I look like I'm in good shape to get top 4. That's always my goal. Obviously, it's nice to win the games, come in first place, but the goal is the top 4. Top 4 is what causes you to increase your ranking if it's a ranked game, which again, this is not. This is a normal game because I'm trying to learn this patch. There I actually highlight the electric. But so your goal should pretty much always be to top 4, because that means you're gaining LP instead of losing LP, and that ultimately is the goal. I try to avoid risk. There are some strategies you can do that make you more likely to come in first, and at simultaneously more likely to come in first, but also more likely to come in 8th if they don't work. And I try to avoid those because, like I said, I think it's better just to try to top 4. All right, so we get some good items here. We've got another. I'm going to go ahead and level to 8, and now I'm going to look to re-roll a little bit. In goes Mundo, and in comes Twitch, now that we're level 8, so that'll get poisoned. Now I'm going to re-roll a little bit, looking for stuff. By the way, I make a humongous mistake here. I actually miss an Ornn. That would be Ornn 3-star. I'm going to get the Singed, and I'm like, all right, goodbye to poor Twitch. We can sell him, and this makes a perfect Morellonomicon, and that is some good fortune. I grabbed the Giant's Belt, but I couldn't have counted on getting the... And see, there's the Ornn, and I missed the Ornn. That would be Ornn 3-star. Ah! So that's why I try not to re-roll too quickly through here. But I missed it. I did pick up a Nico, though. So I have the option of Nicoing that Ornn. And I am up against some kind of ghost round here. I don't know which player this is because it doesn't say. But this looks to be a pretty strong team composition. But look at all those electric procs that I'm picking up right there. It's not quite enough to win, but it is enough to avoid losing too much health right there. I believe that's Aesop Wanderer's comp right there that we were seeing. And I am not entirely pleased about losing that round, so I go ahead and burn the Nico on the Ornn, which I did not have to do because there was an Ornn right there that I scrolled past, and it's sad times for us. So with the Ornn 3-star, I think I'm strong enough to probably win some of these rounds. We'll see. If I start losing more health, then I will look to reroll a bit, but I really want to get to level... level 9 because I want to be able to put Zed in. I haven't found a Zed yet, but I'm reasonably confident I can find one. Also, getting to level 9 will increase my odds of finding Zed. It is, if you look down there at the new interface changes, you can see it's only a 6% chance to find 5-cost units when you're at level 8. But if I can get up to level 9, it'll go up to a 15% chance. I'll have much better odds to find Zed and to find more Singed. I would love to make Singed 2-star. So that round is close. I do manage to beat Pat and Geo. And we are down to top 4, so only 4 of us remaining. It's going to be down to me, Kuawei, Aesop Wander, and Pat and Geo. And I do, in fact, find Zed there. Yay! So now I need to get Zed in. And right now I was thinking, can I take anything out to get Zed in? But I really can't. I guess I could take out, like, Volibear, but I'm not sure that Zed 1-star is necessarily better than that. It may be. It's hard to say. I think the path forward is just to get to level 9 as quickly as possible. I am going to shift here. I'm scouting the other comps. I'm trying to dodge the Zephyr that was being run by Aesop Wanderer. Instead, I get Huawei. Remember, Huawei was undefeated, won like the first 10 rounds, but his comp is not scaling that great into the late game. In fact, I'm reasonably confident I can beat this. He's got like some Berserkers here, and so we are in fact able to beat this relatively easily. Huawei's got a lot of health to work through, so if I want to win first place, I'm going to have to win an awful lot of rounds. Now we're back to the carousel again, and we've got a chance to pick some different items. So I see the Zed, and I'm just like, oh, Zed, that's awesome. Let's grab the Zed. And then like 1 second later, I was like, wait a minute. I could have picked the Yasuo and gotten Guardian Angel, which is an awesome item on Zed. Guardian Angel Redemption are like 2 of the best items you can get. And so at this point, I was like, oh my god, why did I just grab the Zed? I should have paid attention. Look, yep, you can see I was like, oh my god, I should have picked up the Guardian Angel there. Which admittedly would make it harder to find Zed 2-star. But oh well, the Jeweled Gauntlet is not going to do anything on Zed. Well, I guess that's not true. Jeweled Gauntlet is your spells have a chance to critically strike. Obviously, Zed's spells cannot critically strike, but it does give him 10% extra crit chance from the Brawler's Glove. So I guess it's not entirely wasted, because he's got the Brawler's Glove component. And here I'm going to pick up some Cogs, just in case. It's unlikely I'd be able to make Cog 3-star, but you never know. And there we go, going to dump the Redemption on Zed. So yeah, Guardian Angel would have been better, but whatever. At least I do get the higher chance for crits as a result of having the Brawler's Glove component. Anyway, we are up against Aesop Wanderer. I believe Aesop Wanderer probably has the strongest comp right now, so this is the matchup I need to win if I'm going to try to top this lobby. And look at those electric procs going off. Lots of electric. Ornn, by the way, still pretty much untouched. He's got the Thornmail there, so Ezreal's kind of killing himself on the Thornmail, and Cog sits undamaged in the back lines. Anyway, now that we have Zed, we're up to Electric 3. So we are up to 300 damage anytime any champ receives a crit or deals a crit. Right now, I'm level 9, so there's really nothing to do other than reroll. And up, there we go. Wow, so that is a little bit lucky. We are going to find the Zed 2-star. So maybe it was the right decision to pick up a Zed after all. That is going to get another Zed in as soon as this round's over. So I'm not going to sell anything on my bench. I don't think I have enough money to... I mean, I could sell the Skarner, but I kind of need Skarner. And never mind, that wouldn't give me enough gold anyway. I guess I could sell the Skarner and the Cogs, but we'll just get it after this round. I knew I was going to be up against Pat and Geo, so I shift I shift Nocturne over to the right-hand side, because that way he will jump on top of the Lucian right away. And by killing the Lucian quickly, we're able to win this round without too much trouble. We kill Lucian, then we kill Senna, and we're going to knock out Pat and Geo in 4th place. Remember how Pat and Geo was econing super duper hard? What that meant was he left himself with no health. So all he has to do is lose like 1 round and he gets eliminated. But he still makes top 4, so that's a pretty solid showing there. And now it's just against me and Huawei and Aesop Wanderer. And between the two of these, I think Aesop Wanderer has the better composition right now. He's got the Glacial Electric. So he's also running Electric 3, but he's running a Glacial setup, whereas I've got Poison plus Predator. As far as the items that we've picked up, I'm going to go ahead and get the Spear of Shojin right here. This is another item I'm going to stick on Zed. It's not an ideal Zed item because it only helps Zed get his first clone off. The Shojin proc does not help him get future clones off any faster. However, it's still generally a good item on Zed. Like, it will give him mana, it will give him attack damage. By the way, we're going to pick up another Singe there, and now I'm just checking to see what else is there. I spot the Olafs, and I was thinking about this. I was like, wow, I'd really love to get Olaf in here, because look, I'm 1 away from Glacial, I'm 1 away from Berserkers, but I was sitting here, I was like, I'll pick them up. I was trying to figure out what I could take out, and honestly, the problem is there's just nothing I can take out in order to make this work. So I know I'm thinking I'm going to be up against Aesop Wanderer, and I'm going to swap here so that it is the Volibear who's going to get hit by the Zephyr, but nope, it's not him, it's Huawei. In any case. Alright, so here we go. We're up against his Glacial comp. So there's the lightning popping off everywhere. I need to kill that Olaf. That's his carry unit, and we just barely managed to kill the Olaf. There's just kind of lightning everywhere. So it's Cog and Zed standing at the end. Those are my 2 carries. Cog is mostly in there to trigger Predator procs, and he's quite good at doing that between Ludens and having the Runin's Hurricane. There we go. That's a big hit. So a little bit of good RNG, finding the 3 Singe. That really, really helps, because Singe 2, despite getting nerfed in the most recent patch in 9.24, Singe is still really strong. And here I'm trying to think, I was like, can I take anything out and put Olaf in? But I really can't see any units I can take out. I do not want to drop the Predator. Like, I would love to get Taric in too, to get Crystal in play, but there's just nothing I can take out right now. Like, I'm just not seeing anything. And then here, I get a huge hit. I'm like, oh my god, Electric Lux? Are you kidding me? Electric Lux, with Electric Lux, I can make Electric 4. Now, you guys probably knew that was going to happen because the title of this video was Electric 4. But it was a huge, huge deal of good fortune. And this is just one of those things you can't necessarily control. Now, look, I'm still winning these rounds anyway, even without an Electric Lux in. But Electric Lux is just going to be fantastic. I can take out the Volibear. Volibear is only providing me with Electric right now, so we will sell the Volibear. This also allows me to move the Recurve Bow, which never really was a good fit on him anyway. So now we can get Lux in, and there we go. Electric 4, 500 damage anytime a champion deals or receives a critical strike, and that is a lot of damage right now. By the way, Lux also was buffed slightly in this patch, so Lux herself is a little bit better. Here, I'm thinking, who do I put on the Mountain Hex? I was like, alright, well, we'll go ahead and put Singe there. Remember, there's a Zephyr that's targeting that square, so Singe can't be Zephyred. So watch right here. I'm up against Aesop Wanderer, and the Zephyr cannot be disabled. Yep, so that worked really well. And meanwhile, now every time we get those Electric Lux, like, Lux doesn't even kill anyone, she just gets critted and deals 500 damage and kills someone with the crit. We still have to deal with that Olaf, though, and note that Olaf does have the Silence procs. He's got the Hush, but fortunately, we are still able to win that round with the Electric 4. Those Electric crits just dealing so much damage. Anyway, so here we're down to another Carousel round. We're getting Aesop Wanderer and who we are getting low. I am going to look to pick up the Dragon's Talon, Dragon's Claw. I think it's Dragon's Claw. I always have trouble remembering that item's name. I could have gone for the Cog, which would put me closer to Cog 3-star, but I still don't really think I'm going to make Cog 3-star. Instead, I'm going to pick this up because it's a very nice item to put on Singed. It's just going to make him even tankier. And let's see, it should tell me the name of this item when I highlight it here. Dragon's Claw. Okay, not Dragon's Talon. So I'm going to put that on him. I'm not going to make Singed 3-star. Like, that's not going to happen. But by picking up Singed, I can make it harder for other players to get Singed. I know that some of the other players that are still in the game are competing for those units. So I'll just pick it up and make it harder for them to try to make. There's only 10 of each 5-cost unit in the pool. So, like, Hui, he's not trying to make a Singed, but I think Aesop Wanderer is. And right now I was scouting Hui because that's who I'm going to be up against here. Knew that this is the comp I would be hitting next. So this is the Berserker Glacial composition. I think I recently beat this person in a Ghost round, but I'm up against them again. Actually getting some really nice attacks from that Olaf, and it looks like I'm going to lose, but woo! Cog just barely survives, and that plus the Lux is enough to win that round. But that one was close. That was not easy at all right there. Whew. So I managed to keep my win streak alive, my 8-game win streak. I will go ahead and stick this on Lux just so she can attack a little bit faster. And hey, we finally found a 2-star Skarner. Hooray! I didn't find Warwick. I think I found one Warwick the entire game, which is pretty funny. But again, Aesop Wanderer was stockpiling a lot of the Warwicks, so that might be part of the reason why I didn't find him. So yeah, there you go. Glacial, Electric, Berserker, Warden. It's a very strong comp. And we both got the orange right here. We both got 3-star orange in the front line, which is pretty funny. And we're both running Electric. I have Electric 4, he has Electric 3. This is a ghost round, so I'm not going to be eliminating somebody regardless. And it's a little bit unfortunate it's a ghost round because I just clean house in this particular round. That was against Aesop Wanderer, so he knocks out Hui, and now it's down to just the final 2 here. It's the final countdown. Anyway, so both of us running these electric comps here. And if there is one piece of advice that I have for people who might be watching this for 9.24, Electric is really good, particularly Electric 2. It is really good just to stockpile Ordens and Volibears. Even if you're not going to play a comp that's Electric based, you can run them for like early mid game, and they're really, really good to have. As far as what we're going to get from the Rift Herald, Aesop's going to pick up a red buff. I'm going to pick up a what is that? Another. Geez, I talked about this before, and now I can't remember the item name. Going to pick up another Ruden's Hurricane. That's it. There we go. And I'm going to put this on Nocturne, which I think is a mistake. I think I should put this... I would put it on Zed, but I already have. Zed's already maxed on items. I think that this item should honestly go on Lux because it'll mean more electric procs, or more chance to get electric procs on enemies because she's Electric 4, whereas Nocturne, who has a Nocturne with no items, is not really that effective. Nocturne's mostly in there just to provide the tanking, the steel buff to Rek'Sai right now. A Nocturne could probably come out of this composition. And you know, maybe I should have taken out Nocturne to put in Olaf. That might have been better. Now that I think about it, that might have been better. But I do like having the steel for Rek'Sai so she can tank a little bit longer. And then I do get some more good RNG in the sense that I am able to find an Electric Lux 2, which, again, as I mentioned, was buffed in this patch. I was also watching Aesop Wanderer. I was watching to see if he would move his Zephyr. He did not move his Zephyr in this particular round. So once again, he does not Zephyr anything. Sin's just running around. All those electric procs are popping off on both sides. And Lux is going to get the kill with her ultimate. So we do like 20 damage. And at this point, I only need to win one more round. And the game will be over. So right now, I mean, all my champs are 2-star. I'm not going to make anything else to 3-star. And by the way, let's also give a shout out to the Ornn, who's been sitting on a Mountain Hex literally the entire game. My Ornn has probably been on a Mountain Hex for about 25 rounds, so he's got probably close to 1,000 extra HP as a result of this. Although I think Aesop Wanderer has also had an Ornn on that Mountain Hex the whole time. So I see him moving his Zephyr, and I try to shift. I actually make a mistake. I should have shifted the Cogmo places with like the Skarner, not the Rek'Sai, because this has put Cog up on the front lines, which is really dumb. Cog just dies to Olaf and doesn't do anything. But the good news is Zed's on the case, Lux is on the case, and I'm still able to win this round anyway. Actually, Singed and Ornn did all the damage that last round, 5,200 for both of them. But whatever, my comp was apparently strong enough that even with dumb positioning on the Cogmo, I could still win. And so we're going to clean that one up, and that's a victory. So, first place finish, you might have been able to guess that because, you know, I usually don't show games. I don't really show the games where like I tried something and it didn't work, because that doesn't make for a very interesting video. In any case, though, I hope that you guys enjoyed this. I wanted a chance to showcase Electric 4. Electric, really good here in this patch. It's helpful to build compositions around it. Builds really well into Zed. If you've got the Orin and the Volibear, you can always put Zed in later on, and you'll have something at least half decent. And the rest of this was just kind of a standard Predators comp, which goes into Poison late. Predators always goes into Poison late. So, relatively easy comp to build around, but a nice game nonetheless. Once again, thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Until next time, have a great week, and I'll see you guys again soon. Take care.